This problem looks like it's probably going to be a diamond. The 12 makes it seem like it's going to be a grouping diamond. But one thing I noticed before we get started is that we have some greatest common factor going on here. So the first thing I noticed is that every single term has an x in it. So for sure we're going to have a greatest common factor that includes x. And then if you look at your three numbers, the 12, the 4, and the negative 4 and the negative 40, those numbers are all divisible by 4. So I'm actually going to have a greatest common factor of 4x. So that's going to come out to the front, and then what's going to be left over, 12 divided by 4 is 3, and then if I take x out of x cubed, I'd have x squared. Negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1, so I'm just going to write negative, and then I'd have x left over if I took x out of x squared. And then negative 40 divided by 4 is negative 10, and then I took the x out, so that one I don't need an x anymore. So now this 4x that we took out at the beginning, we're done with that. All I need to know now is that it's going to be in front of our final answer. And then what's written here in purple is what we're going to have to deal with now. So I see that I still have a number in front of x squared. That means this is going to be a grouping diamond. So I'm going to do 3 times negative 10, and that's going to go here. So that's negative 30. And then my middle term is negative 1, even though you can't see the 1. That's what the number is. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 30 and add to negative 1. When your bottom number is a 1, it means your two numbers are consecutive, meaning they're one right after the other. So that's going to be 5 and 6. And since the 1 is negative, I want the bigger number to be negative. So I have a negative 6 there. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy down the 3x squared and the negative 10. And then I'm going to put my, my new blue numbers in there, but I want to put my negative number first. So I'm going to write it negative 6x plus 5x. And the reason I want to do that is so that I don't have to worry about factoring out a negative out of my second group. So now I can put parentheses around the first two terms and the last two terms. From the first group I can take out 3x, and left over I would have x minus 2. From the second group I can just take out a positive 5, and left over would be x minus 2 again. So now I have my, my matching parentheses. Now that these are both the same, that means we're in good shape. So my answer would be x minus 2 and then the 3x plus 5. That's in red. Now that's not my final answer because at the very beginning we factored a 4x out as a greatest common factor. So my final answer would be the 4x that we factored out, the x minus 2, and the 3x plus 5. So this thing that I'm putting a red box around would be our final answer.